Hello, dear listener. Tonight, let us embark on a tranquil journey through time, stepping softly into the hushed halls of medieval monasteries. In these sacred spaces, silence was not merely the absence of sound, but a profound presence, guiding the daily lives of monks devoted to contemplation and prayer. As you settle into your comfortable space, allow the stillness of the night to envelop you. Let each breath draw you deeper into relaxation, preparing your mind for a gentle exploration of a world where silence spoke volumes. In the heart of medieval Europe, amidst rolling hills and dense forests, stood monasteries, sanctuaries of peace and devotion. Within these stone walls, monks lived lives dedicated to spiritual pursuits, guided by the rule of Saint Benedict, which emphasized prayer, work, and silence. Silence was not enforced by a formal vow, but was a cherished discipline. Monks believed that in quietude they could hear the divine more clearly, free from the distractions of worldly chatter. The day in a monastery began before sunrise. Monks would rise for matins, the night office, gathering in the chapel to chant psalms in unison. Their voices, though soft, resonated with purpose, filling the sacred space with harmonious devotion. After prayers, the monks would engage in various tasks, tending to gardens, copying manuscripts, or caring for the sick, all performed in contemplative silence. This quiet labor was seen as an extension of their spiritual practice, each action a form of prayer. In their commitment to silence, monks developed a system of hand signals to communicate essential needs. These gestures allowed them to request items or convey messages without breaking their contemplative state. This silent language fostered a deep sense of community and understanding among the monks, reinforcing their shared purpose and devotion. As evening descended, the monastery would grow even quieter. Monks gathered for Compline, the final prayer of the day, before retiring to their cells. In the solitude of their rooms, they would reflect on their day, seeking inner peace and spiritual clarity. The stillness of the night was embraced, a time for rest and communion with the divine. As we conclude our gentle journey through the lives of the silent monks, let the tranquility of their world linger in your mind. Embrace the stillness, allowing it to wash over you, bringing peace to your thoughts and rest to your body. May the echoes of their silent devotion guide you into a restful sleep. Good night. Hello, dear listener. Tonight, you're invited to travel far away, not just in distance, but in time. Let your body relax, settle in, and feel your breath slow down. As your eyes begin to close, we'll journey back together to the heart of the Roman Empire. Not to the battlefield, not to the Senate, but to a quiet villa nestled in the countryside, where the day unfolds not in triumph or tragedy, but in warm bread, whispering olive trees, and the soft footsteps of daily life. Let's drift slowly now into a peaceful Roman morning. The year is 94 AD. The sun rises gently over the Italian hills, its first rays stretching across terracotta tiles and rustling leaves. In the quiet courtyard of a Roman villa, a marble fountain murmurs softly. Not a soul stirs yet. The air is cool, fresh with dew, and the birds begin their morning chorus in distant fig trees. The villa belongs to Lucius, a retired senator, not a man of war or politics anymore, but of gardens, scrolls, and long naps in the shade. His villa is built around a rectangular courtyard called the atrium, open to the sky. Vines curl up the columns, and mosaic floors shimmer faintly in the morning light. Inside, the slaves and servants begin to move with the grace of practiced routine. Not rushed, just steady, quiet. The familiar, both kin and caretakers, rise together with the sun. In the villa's cucina, or kitchen, the cook begins her tasks. She lights the clay hearth with practiced hands, placing fresh loaves in the small domed oven called a fornax. Outside, near the olive press, a young boy gathers herbs, thyme, oregano, and a sprig of mint, used not just for meals, but for cleansing the air. The villa's steward, Gaius, checks the tall amphorae in the storage room, lined up like sleepy soldiers, filled with oil, wine, and garum, that famous Roman fish sauce. At this hour, the world is still yawning. A cup of watered wine is poured and bread is broken. The villa is not grand, but it is content. It is slow. It is steady, like the rhythm of a breath just before sleep. By mid-morning, the villa hums softly. Slaves sweep dust from the mosaic floors. A gardener tends to lavender in the outer courtyard. In the fields, peasants prune grapevines slowly, carefully. Lucius, the old master of the house, sits beneath the shade of a laurel tree, reading from a scroll of Virgil. He reads aloud, not for others, but for the rhythm of it. The Latin is like a lullaby. The words are familiar, but always worth repeating. The villa is not silent, but the sounds are calm. Soft sandals on stone, wind in the olives. A dog yawns near the kitchen door. Chickens cluck lazily near the well. The business of empire feels very far away. As the sun climbs high, the heat thickens. The villa quiets again. It is time for rest. Lucius reclines in his triclinium, a dining room for reclining meals. But this meal is light: cheese, figs, olives, and honeyed dates. He eats slowly, speaking little, savoring the silence more than the food. Elsewhere, servants doze in shady corners. Even the livestock seem to nap in the hay. The world pauses for a few hours, not from exhaustion, but because there is no hurry. A breeze drifts through open shutters. Cicadas sing, and the only clock that ticks is the sky. Later in the day, Lucius walks through the peristyle, an open-air courtyard ringed by columns, filled with marble statues, flowering pots, and trickling fountains. He pauses to admire a small statue of Minerva, not to worship, but to appreciate. Gods are everywhere in Rome, but in the villa, they watch over in silence, like old friends you don't need to speak to. Lucius passes a slave teaching a child the alphabet, drawing letters in the dust. Nearby, an elderly servant sings softly while spinning wool. In the baths, steam curls upward in soft clouds. There is no rush. The day stretches long and time is a soft pillow. Evening in the villa arrives like a whisper. The light softens, stretching golden fingers across marble and mosaic. Olive trees sway gently in the breeze, their leaves catching the last sun like silver coins. Lucius sits with his daughter, Julia, near the fountain in the garden. They speak softly, sharing memories of her mother, long past, not with sorrow, but with peace. A shared smile, a moment held quietly between generations. In the distance, the workers begin to return from the fields, their tunics dusty, but their pace unhurried. They laugh softly among themselves. The day has been good. The sun has been kind. In the lararium, the small shrine near the kitchen, a servant lights a little oil lamp, a quiet offering to the household gods. There are no grand ceremonies here, just gratitude. The final meal of the day is small and simple: lentils stewed with leeks, bread again, and perhaps a plum or two. Lucius speaks little now. He listens. To the wind against the shutters, to the rustling fig leaves outside his window, to the creaking of the old villa as it settles into its evening silence. The torches are lit, gently, so the flames don't startle. Their light dances on stone walls and familiar faces. There is no fear of the night here, only calm. One by one, the members of the familia retreat to their chambers. Children tuck into woolen blankets. A cat curls beside a brazier still warm from the kitchen's fire. The world grows soft. As Lucius prepares for bed, he passes once more through the courtyard. The stars are peeking out now, one by one. like ancient memories in the vast Roman sky. He pauses just for a moment to breathe it in. The hush, the stillness. The great empire is out there, somewhere, with its armies and tribunes and triumphs. But in here, in this villa, only peace reigns. He steps into his room, removes his sandals, and lies down. The blanket is heavy and familiar. He closes his eyes. The night is silent, and in that silence, Rome breathes, and so ends a single day in a Roman villa, nearly 2,000 years ago. Not a day of battles, not a day of emperors, but a day of bread and gardens and whispered stories by torchlight. As you lie in your own quiet space, maybe you too can hear the trickle of a marble fountain, feel the sun through ancient shutters, and smile just a little at how soft and steady history can be when told slowly enough to dream through. So close your eyes now. Let the sounds fade. Let the stars come out above your thoughts. You are safe. You are calm. And somewhere, far in the folds of time, an old Roman villa still sleeps, just like you. Good night.
As the world around you quiets down, find a comfortable position, take a deep breath, and allow your mind to drift back in time. Imagine the gentle rustle of linen tunics, the soft clinking of armor, and the distant murmur of a Roman camp settling for the night. Tonight, we'll explore the serene and structured life of a Roman soldier, not through the chaos of battle, but through the calm routines and rituals that defined their days. In the early light of dawn, a Roman soldier stirred from his slumber. The air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of earth and dew. Within the confines of a leather tent, shared with his contubernum, his group of 8 fellow soldiers, he rose quietly, careful not to disturb the others. The camp was beginning to awaken, the soft sounds of movement and murmured greetings filling the air. After dressing in his tunic and securing his sandals, the soldier joined his comrades for the morning meal. Breakfast was simple: bread, perhaps dipped in olive oil, accompanied by a sip of diluted wine. Conversations were hushed, focusing on the tasks ahead. The camaraderie among the soldiers was palpable, a quiet bond forged through shared experiences and mutual respect. The morning hours were dedicated to training. Soldiers practiced formations, honed their skills with the gladius and pilum, and engaged in endurance exercises. The drills were repetitive but essential, instilling discipline and ensuring readiness. Commands were given in measured tones, and movements were executed with precision. The focus was on unity and coordination, each soldier a vital part of the whole. Beyond combat training, soldiers had various responsibilities. Some maintained the camp, repairing tents or fortifications. Others stood guard, their watchful eyes scanning the horizon. There were also administrative tasks, such as record keeping and managing supplies. Each duty was performed with diligence, contributing to the efficiency and order of the legion. The afternoon was reserved for lighter duties. Some soldiers cleaned their weapons and armor, ensuring everything was in optimal condition. Others attended to personal chores, such as mending clothing or writing letters home. These tasks, though mundane, were essential for maintaining the well-being and morale of the legion. As the day drew to a close, the camp settled into a tranquil rhythm. Evening prayers were offered, and soldiers gathered to share stories or play simple games. The atmosphere was calm, with the soft glow of lanterns casting gentle shadows. It was a time for reflection, camaraderie, and quietude. With the stars overhead, the soldiers retired to their tents. The camp grew silent, save for the occasional rustle of fabric or the distant hoot of an owl. Within the tents, soldiers found rest, their bodies weary but their spirits steady. Sleep came easily, embraced by the comfort of routine and the bonds of brotherhood. With the first light of dawn, the camp stirred to life. The buccaneer's call signaled the start of a new day. Soldiers assembled in formation for the morning muster, their armor gleaming softly in the early sun. Roll call was taken, and orders for the day were issued with quiet efficiency. Post-muster, soldiers attended to the maintenance of their equipment. Armor was polished, weapons sharpened, and gear inspected. This routine ensured readiness and instilled a sense of pride in their appearance and preparedness. The camp buzzed with quiet activity, each man focused on his tasks. Physical fitness was paramount for a Roman soldier. Daily exercises included running, marching, and strength training. These activities not only built endurance but also fostered unity among the troops. The training grounds echoed with the rhythmic sounds of exertion, a testament to their dedication. After rigorous training, soldiers gathered for their midday meal. The fare was simple: bread, cheese, and perhaps some fruit. Meals were communal, strengthening bonds and providing a moment of respite. Laughter and stories were shared, the camaraderie palpable. Afternoons were dedicated to various camp duties. Some soldiers repaired fortifications, others tended to supplies or assisted in administrative tasks. Each role was vital, contributing to the smooth operation of the camp. The sense of shared responsibility was evident in every task performed. As night enveloped the camp, soldiers found solace in quiet reflection. Gazing at the star-filled sky, thoughts drifted to loved ones and distant homelands. These moments of introspection offered peace and a sense of connection beyond the battlefield. During moments of quiet, soldiers often wrote letters to loved ones. With wax tablets or ink on papyrus, they poured out simple hopes, homesick thoughts, and stories of camp life. Some shared dreams of returning to farms, children, and quiet fields. In return, news from home would sometimes reach them, treasured, reread, and quietly stored away. From time to time, soldiers were granted leave to visit nearby villages. Wearing simpler tunics, they wandered through markets, tasted foreign fruits, and watched artisans at work. The smells of baked bread and open fires mingled with unfamiliar languages. Though brief, these moments outside brought small joys and new memories. Some camps had small hub gardens tended by medics or older veterans. Here, mint, lavender, and rosemary grew in quiet rows. They were used for simple remedies, teas, and soothing ointments. The garden was a calm place, a pocket of nature within the structured camp. Each soldier took pride in his equipment. The gladius, the pilum, the scutum, tools as familiar as their own hands. In the quiet hours, they inspected handles for cracks, sharpened blades with care, and cleaned leather straps. It wasn't just maintenance, it was ritual. Not all soldiers were literate, but many learned over time. Fellow legionnaires taught them letters and numbers in the evenings. Chalk on wooden boards, patient correction, and small triumphs. In the stillness of camp, education became a quiet form of brotherhood. In quieter times, some soldiers took to sewing, woodwork, or carving. Simple tasks, mending tunics, shaping spoon handles, or etching symbols into leather. It wasn't just for necessity, it was for peace of mind. Their hands busy, their minds rested. Cleanliness mattered, even in distant outposts. When time allowed, soldiers visited nearby bathhouses or set up simple washing stations. Cold water splashed on dusty skin, a cleansing both physical and spiritual. Laughter echoed as they scrubbed away the fatigue of days. At night, dreams carried them to places far from the frontiers. To olive groves, to vineyard slopes, to warm kitchens filled with the smell of flatbread. Homes were simple but remembered in perfect detail. In sleep, even the toughest soldier became a quiet dreamer. The army had its own quiet ceremonies, rites of passage, honors bestowed, moments marked. Veterans were recognized, fallen comrades remembered in silence. These gatherings weren't loud, but deeply meaningful. Respect was shown through simplicity, not spectacle. Each camp had at least one storyteller. By firelight, tales of gods, monsters, and heroes filled the air. The stories were familiar, but comforting. As eyes drooped and breathing slowed, words faded into dreams. The camp sleeps, but not all. Each night, a few soldiers rise quietly, taking their turn to keep watch beneath the stars. They move slowly, wrapped in cloaks, their footsteps soft against the dirt paths of the outpost. A gentle creak of leather, the hush of wind through olive trees, and the low hoot of an owl. These are the only sounds. The world is peaceful at this hour. The flickering of torches along the camp wall casts soft amber shadows. And the guards, though alert, feel something sacred about the stillness. One gazes up at the sky, tracing the stars, perhaps thinking of home, or simply enjoying the quiet gift of the night. In the tents, most have drifted into slumber. Shields rest gently beside beds of straw. The armor, once loud with battle, now lies silent and still. Blankets rustle lightly as a soldier turns in his sleep. His breathing is slow. His mind no longer on tactics or commands, but lost in dreams. Some dream of vineyards and warm bread. Others of walking barefoot across quiet fields. The stars outside are the same stars seen in every corner of the empire. And perhaps, under those stars, loved ones are dreaming too. The night offers a moment of connection. A thread of quiet that links the soldier to far off places. This is the hour just before dawn, when even the wind seems to pause. The air is cool and gentle, and a light mist begins to settle low to the ground. The camp is hushed, and even the night creatures rest now. A centurion stirs, sipping the last of yesterday's watered wine, gazing silently at the dim horizon. He does not speak. He only listens. To silence. The fires are little more than glowing embers now, pulsing faintly like the heartbeat of the camp. In this hour, time itself slows, stretching each breath into something eternal. Inside the tent, as the darkness begins to fade ever so gently into morning light, a soldier opens his eyes for a brief moment, and then closes them again. Perhaps he remembers the soft laughter of a sibling, the warmth of a mother's kitchen, or a childhood path through tall grasses. Just one last thought. Not of war, nor duty, but of something warm, something familiar. And then he lets go of the thought, floating back into sleep, as the world slowly stirs around him. This is the final breath of night. The morning comes gently, not with trumpets or clamor, but with a quiet breeze and the soft light of a new day. But for now, you do not need to wake. Let the soldier rest. Let the shield remain by his side. Let the morning wait. You are here. Still. Safe. And far from worry. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let the story fade now. Like footprints washed away by soft Roman rain. Let the thoughts drift like smoke from a quiet campfire. Sleep now, traveler of time. The soldier rests. And so should you. And now, as the story draws to a close, let it fade gently like twilight slipping into night. You've walked beside a Roman soldier, through the training grounds and quiet moments, the hush of dawn, and the warmth of shared bread. You've stood beneath stars above ancient stones, and listened to the soft rhythm of a world long gone, yet somehow still close. Let those echoes now become whispers, then silence, then stillness. You do not need to remember every detail. You do not need to carry the weight of the armor or the sword. You only need to rest, just as he did, after long days and quiet nights under distant skies. Breathe in slowly, and let go of the day. Breathe out softly, and settle into your own quiet camp of dreams. The past is at peace, and so are you. Sleep well, traveler. Sleep deeply, and dream gently. Good night.
Hello, dear listener. Tonight, let us embark on a tranquil journey through time, stepping softly into the warm, sunlit world of ancient Egypt. In this land of golden sands and flowing rivers, bread was more than sustenance, it was life itself. From the humblest farmer to the mightiest pharaoh, bread nourished the body and the soul. As you settle into your comfortable space, allow the stillness of the night to envelop you. Let each breath draw you deeper into relaxation, preparing your mind for a gentle exploration of a world where the art of bread making was a sacred daily ritual. The Nile River, with its annual floods, bestowed fertile soil upon the land, allowing emmer wheat and barley to flourish. These grains were the foundation of the Egyptian diet, especially bread. Emmer wheat, though challenging to process, was prized for its hearty flavor and nutritional value. Harvesting was a communal activity. Men and women worked side by side, cutting the stalks and gathering them into bundles. Children often helped, learning the rhythms of the land from an early age. The air was filled with the soft rustle of grain and the gentle murmur of voices. Once harvested, the emmer wheat underwent a meticulous process to become flour. The grains were first moistened and pounded to remove the tough husks. After drying, they were ground using saddle querns, simple stone tools where a smaller stone was rubbed back and forth over a larger flat one. This labor-intensive task was often performed by women, who would kneel for hours, creating a rhythmic sound that echoed through the village. The resulting flour, though coarse and sometimes gritty, was the essential ingredient for bread. With the flour ready, the next step was to prepare the dough. Water from the Nile was mixed with the flour in large ceramic bowls. Sometimes a bit of sourdough starter from a previous batch was added, introducing natural fermentation and giving the bread a pleasant tang. The dough was kneaded by hand until it reached the desired consistency. This tactile process connected the baker to the ingredients, each movement deliberate and unhurried. After kneading, the dough was left to rest, covered with a linen cloth, allowing it to rise gently in the warm Egyptian air. Ancient Egyptian baking methods were diverse and adapted to the resources available. One common technique involved placing the dough on heated stones or griddles over an open flame. Another method used clay ovens, where dough was slapped onto the hot interior walls, similar to modern tandoor baking. The aroma of baking bread filled the air, a comforting scent that signaled nourishment and home. Loaves came in various shapes, round, triangular, or even molded into forms resembling animals or symbols, especially for religious offerings. Bread was central to every Egyptian meal, often accompanied by beer, vegetables, or legumes. It was not just food, but also a form of currency, used to pay workers and offered to the gods in temples. The importance of bread was such that the word for it, aish, also meant life. In homes, families gathered to share meals, breaking bread together in a ritual that reinforced bonds and traditions. Even in death, bread accompanied the departed, placed in tombs to sustain them in the afterlife. In the heart of ancient Egyptian villages, communal ovens stood as central hubs of daily life. These large dome-shaped clay structures were shared by multiple families, fostering a sense of community and cooperation. Each morning, the aroma of freshly baked bread wafted through the air as villagers gathered to bake their loaves. The process was rhythmic and harmonious, with individuals taking turns, sharing stories, and strengthening social bonds. The communal oven was more than just a place for baking. It was a symbol of unity and shared sustenance. Through the simple act of bread making, communities were woven together, one loaf at a time. In ancient Egypt, bread transcended its role as mere sustenance. It functioned as a form of currency. Workers, including those who built the Grand Pyramids, were often compensated with rations of bread and beer. This system underscored the intrinsic value of bread in society. It was a tangible measure of labor, a reward for effort, and a staple that sustained the workforce. The exchange of bread as payment illustrates its central role in the economic and social structures of ancient Egypt. highlighting its importance beyond the dining table. Bread held profound spiritual significance in ancient Egyptian culture. It was commonly used as an offering to deities, symbolizing devotion and reverence. Specially prepared loaves were placed in temples and tombs, intended to nourish gods and the deceased in the afterlife. These offerings were meticulously crafted, reflecting the deep respect held for the divine. Through these sacred rituals, bread became a bridge between the mortal and the spiritual realms, embodying the Egyptians' beliefs in continuity and eternal life. The ancient Egyptians exhibited remarkable creativity in their bread making, producing a diverse array of loaves. From simple flatbreads to intricately shaped offerings, bread came in many forms and flavors. Ingredients such as dates, honey, and herbs were incorporated to enhance taste and nutritional value. Some loaves were molded into symbolic shapes, representing animals or deities, especially for ceremonial purposes. This diversity reflects the Egyptians' ingenuity and the cultural significance they attributed to bread, making it an integral part of both daily life and spiritual practice. Baking in ancient Egypt involved various techniques adapted to available resources and desired outcomes. Traditional methods included baking dough on heated stones or within clay ovens, known as tannours. These ovens were often cylindrical, with dough slapped onto the inner walls to bake. The process required skill and attentiveness, ensuring the bread was cooked evenly and retained its intended texture. The mastery of these techniques showcases the Egyptians' dedication to the art of bread making, a craft passed down through generations. Belief in the afterlife was central to ancient Egyptian culture, and bread played a vital role in funerary practices. Loaves were placed in tombs as provisions for the deceased, ensuring sustenance in the world beyond. These offerings were often accompanied by other foods and items, reflecting the importance of comfort and nourishment in the afterlife. The presence of bread in burial sites underscores its significance as a symbol of life and continuity. Through these practices, the Egyptians expressed their hopes for eternal sustenance and the enduring bond between the living and the departed. In ancient Egypt, bread was not merely sustenance, it held profound spiritual significance. Loaves were often shaped into forms representing animals, deities, or symbols of life and fertility. These specially crafted breads were used as offerings in temples and tombs, symbolizing sustenance for the gods and the deceased in the afterlife. The act of offering bread was a daily ritual, reinforcing the bond between the earthly and the divine. Artisans took great care in preparing these sacred loaves, using the finest flour and sometimes adding honey, dates, or spices to enhance their flavor and aroma. The bread was baked in molds to achieve the desired shapes, and the finished products were arranged meticulously on altars or placed within tombs. This practice underscored the belief that the afterlife mirrored earthly existence, where bread continued to play a central role. As we reflect on the sacred role of bread in ancient Egyptian culture, we recognize its significance beyond mere nourishment. It was a bridge between the mortal and the divine, a symbol of life, and a testament to the care and devotion of those who prepared it. Let this understanding deepen our appreciation for the simple yet profound act of baking bread, connecting us to a tradition that has endured through the ages. As we conclude our gentle journey through the ancient art of Egyptian bread making, let the warmth and simplicity of their daily rituals soothe your thoughts. Imagine the soft crunch of freshly baked bread, the shared smiles of a family meal, and the timeless connection between nourishment and love. Close your eyes now and let the echoes of ancient ovens and the gentle rhythms of a world long past lull you into restful sleep. Good night.